Welcome, everyone. This is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden, and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about fitness, nutrition, and mindset. Now, if you haven't figured out my trend, I will tell you. It is fitness, nutrition, and mindset. There's a reason why I'm having so many fitness, nutrition, and mindset coaches come on, and I'm going to keep on having them on probably for the next 2 months. Because if you know anything about this time, this is the golden hour. This is the peak. If you want to change your life, this is when you do it. So people who are having a hard time with fitness, with finance, with relationships, this is the moment when you start. You don't start in January. You don't start in February. You don't start in April or May. You start now. This is the golden hour. You might ask, well, why is it the golden hour? It's because your mind is focused, is primed on gratitude, is focused on seeing people and what they have, also taking action. So Thanksgiving comes. We are thankful for what we have. We see maybe family members or we see other people and they're so happy and they're so joyous and we're like, whoa, I want that for myself. Or this food is great. What's your recipe? We start to become inquisitive. Then Christmas comes. Oh, I want this, I want that. Let me give this, let me give that. Santa Claus is not real. I can't believe you told me a lie, Mom and Dad. Okay, great. We have so many good things happening in these coming months because it is full of holidays, it's full of special occasions, and it's going to be also full of reflection. And the reflection might happen from the past year. The reflection might happen to the next year, even though you can't really reflect the next year. It's going to be just looking at it and saying, can I make this next year the best year? Well, many people have that aspiration. People say all the time, 2023 is going to be the best year yet. And then they start off really good and then they fall off. And then they say, you know what? I'm just going to wait till 2024 and I'm going to say the same damn thing. And they say 2024 is going to be the best year ever. I'm going to make it better than 2023. Or I hope 2024 is not like 2023. I don't know if you have ever said it, or if you have ever heard anybody say it. I hear it all the time. I see it on my Twitter. I see it on the social medias, Instagram, Facebooks, etc., talking about this mindset. And the mindset is not conducive to finding fulfillment, purpose, and happiness. Because you might think, oh, if I just tell myself to be in a better state of mind, to take more action, but not have any accountability, you're going to find yourself always on the wayside of not being able to accomplish what you gave yourself, what you told yourself. So you need some accountability. You need someone in your corner. So today I'm going to be bringing on a fitness, nutrition, and mindset coach, Ronnie Niemi, to help us understand that we can become disciplined in what we go for. We can become astute in what we need to understand so we can make some changes in your life. I often say that in order to do great things in your life, you have to have someone to help you along the way because we have a finite amount of time on this planet. So we can't waste it reinventing the wheel all the time. So we do have to make great strides, and a mentor, a guide, a coach is going to be that person who's going to unlock all the doors that have been locked in your life. So let's get into that interview with Ronnie and myself and begin to understand just how powerful coaching can be and just how powerful you can be if you choose to show up and not make excuses. Welcome, Ronnie Niemi, to Coaching in Session. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me, man. I'm good. It's been a long day. We're here. It's around midnight soon, but I'm up and running, man.
Glad to have you on. I know sometimes the time differences can get in the way, especially because my recording schedule is very compact. So I do appreciate you making some time to come on, speak with us, and talk about the work that you do. Today, I have you on as a fitness, nutrition, and mindset coach. And when you do mindset coaching, you do so much. I do career, I do relationships, and it's because mindset is an overall compass of your thinking and your logic. So we're going to be diving deep in your mind and your work today. But without me talking about everything you have done, please tell the world who you are, what you do, and how you help them.
Yeah, so my story actually started roughly 25 years ago. I've always been the person, that want to help others. I get a lot of good energy helping others. I've been actually a high school teacher for 10 years back in the days. And Coaching has been something real close to my heart for the past 25 years. I've also been competing myself when it comes to sports, bodybuilding, and creating the mindset of my own, being in a sport. But it was actually a couple of years ago, back in 2021, when I really hit the wall badly. I got a real massive burnout. I got a diagnosis, and everything pretty much fell apart when it came to relationships, when it came to finance, when it came to my me being me. And I had really to get back to the drawing board, start it all over in order to be here. So I'm telling people that I'm here at playing overtime. I had a cancer diagnosis. I got a stroke, and I I would say like a pretty rough turning point in my life. That was when I started to search for my purpose, really.
So when you got that bad news and you were in that burnout, that phase, what was some of the thoughts that were going on in your mind? Was it all like poor me, pity me, or was it like just like no feeling at all?
I would say both, because the first reaction was probably why me, why me. When time went on, I had 28 surgeries for the cancer. I had 3 surgeries for my stroke, and at some point, I just knew that either I fall apart or stand up. So that was when the epitome went away, and I had to start searching for my purpose in life. And it took a while, because it was transition from being one person that had had a career, a great family, had a marriage, had that I left behind actually. But I was in a poor situation with when it comes to health and wealth, and I knew that I have more to give, but I didn't know in what way I could give it.
Was there ever a point where the pain was too much and you just said, why even bother?
No, actually, no, not. But I had to search for, as I told you just a second ago, for my purpose. I had to. I actually teamed up with a few mentors. Always have been working with different coaches when it came to my sports career. Now I felt that I had to get a mentor that could help me, progress in life without talking about bodybuilding, because bodybuilding was. I'm still bodybuilding. I mean, I still love training, and it's part of my life, but the competitive career, that's something I left behind. But it was a hard thing to try to get the same kind of energy that I got from the bodybuilding, from competing, when not competing anymore. I had to replace that with something else. And the main focus that I realized was that I need to focus on myself.
Yeah, it's true. When you have a mentor guiding you, helping you along the way, because sometimes you can just be in a mindset or just on a trajectory and it's just like leading you to chaos, leading you to more problems. But if you can have someone that says, hey, I see where you're going, this is not going to be conducive to you finding your purpose, your passions, and living a good life. So
Exactly.
that's why having a coach is so important. And I talk about, the benefits of having a coach, whether it's a fitness coach, life coach, nutritionist, they all help you in different realms. Some coaches can do it all because they have lived it all. And that's
Yeah.
important to have someone with the wisdom, with the knowledge. You don't want just someone who has an idea of, I want to help people, but they don't have the life experience. And I was reading something earlier today. They say age does not equal wisdom, life equals wisdom. So I can be 20. I mean, I'm not 20, but I can be 20 and I can have a wealth of wisdom, but I really don't have much life. And it's so funny because sometimes I get clients who are going through divorce and things along those lines. And they're like, well, you're married, you're still in the happy phase. How can you help me? And I was like, well, I guess you don't know my life, right? My parents' life, right? The upbringing I had to go through with my parents' marriage and other people's marriages around me, seeing it fall apart, seeing the problems. That's wisdom. I might not have lived it personally, but I saw it firsthand. So I'm able to go into a different perspective when I'm working with people. I didn't have the personal life experience of it, but I did have the life experience overall. So I want to get into fitness with you, nutrition with you, and then going and then relating that to mindset. And the reason why I want to do this is because you seem like you're a great guy, like in shape. You said you were competitive and
Yeah.
you have this hiccup in life. So sometimes, especially here in the West, if you work out, you're healthy. If you go to the gym, you're healthy. If you look thin, you're healthy. But you can see these bodybuilders like Ronnie Coleman is, a great example. CT Fletcher, another guy. You don't look really good, but then they're going into the hospital for these surgeries. So I wanted to get into nutrition and fitness with you because I don't want people to think that just lifting and being yoked up is like, okay, I'm in good fitness, right? Because I'm sure you learned with your wisdom and your experience that that wasn't the case.
That wasn't the case. I was actually, that was back in 2017 when I competed my last time. Looking back at that, it brought a lot of great memories. But you can do things in many different ways. When we talk about fitness and nutrition in general, over here, it's getting more and more common. You see, now it's fall over here. The school started, gyms are crowded. Everyone is more or less doing something. That's a trend. I would say it's still a rising trend, but there's also a lot of different mindsets. There's a lot of different voices out there speaking about the fitness, but how to do it, how often to do it, and you can be fit in many ways. You don't need the gym necessarily to be fit. There's many ways to train. What I realized over the years is that you need to be functional. You need to function as an individual. I've been training for the last 27 years at a gym. I was about to turn a professional ice hockey player back in the days, and then I got real bad injured 1 month before signing a professional contract. So I have some kind of experience for training myself. I have some kind of experience also for coaching people. I see it a lot. I've been coaching thousands of people throughout the years, coming from different backgrounds, coming from different having different opportunities, different goals, everything from having different relationships, financial opportunities, and so forth. And I think one thing that really puts all in the same basket is they all have a mindset that needs to be worked on, and that's kind of the route that I'm going more and more towards today, because I'm having everything from people never seen the gym before till professional bodybuilders and fitness people. So everything in between. The youngest client I have today is 16 years old. The oldest is 73. So there's a pretty huge gap in there.
Okay. And when we look at fitness, the mindset of fitness, as you said, your youngest, what, 62?
16.
16. Okay. Yeah.
16.
So, because I know some people work with specific age groups. So 16 years old, they're beginning that fitness journey. They have a lot of society issues they have to look at, right? Because they say, you have to look this way, you have to be this tall, you have to, all of that. Six-pack abs, or for guys, it's six-figure income, six-pack abs, 6 feet tall. Now, you might not get 6 feet tall, but you can get the six-figure income, and you can get the six-packs abs for sure.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Yeah.
We understand something, especially like as men. I'm not sure if you went through this. It's like the more in shape you are, the more confident you become, especially at a young age. And then that correlates to picking up girls and being in the right crowds of people. You're maybe hanging out with the popular kids because you look a certain way. How much is looks to fitness? Can you look good and feel good, or is it maybe a myth?
I think it's about acquire what you admire, really. But I also think that there's a lot of people chasing the wrong goals, or maybe being in there for the wrong reasons. As I told you, I have a lot of competitive clients, and when a new client comes to me, he or she often says, I want to look like that, I want to gain that much weight, I want to drop that much weight, or I want to compete at that competition then and then and then. But there's a blueprint for everything. There's a lot of good coaches, writing nutrition programs, training programs, but there's not that many focusing on who is doing the programs, not how you're going to do it, more who's going to do it. And I think the who is definitely the most important, because there's, as I said, there's a lot of blueprints, there's a lot of programs. You can do it in many different ways, but unless you work on yourself, I don't really think you're never going to achieve what you really could achieve.
I know some people, when they get into fitness, they think they can have poor nutrition. they will eat the McDonald's and they'll eat the fast food and they gain weight. And
Yeah, sure.
and and they're able to turn that weight into muscle, maybe if they use like creatine or if they do steroids or some type of supplement. They can do it. I know bodybuilders who do it, who are like YouTube stars, and they'll eat a bunch of cheeseburgers and pizzas, and they look, super in shape. But then these are the same people who are having strokes and having complications later on. The nutrition aspect to fitness is so important. Can we talk about how important nutrition is by percentage? I know some people say fitness is 30%, nutrition is 70% or something along those lines. What is your percent?
If we talk about it like a clear percentage, I would say probably something like that. But I would say in the percentage, you also need to think about, consider that there's a lot of discipline. You need to be disciplined with having a routine. I think the routine that's everything. Without a good routine, you ain't really getting nowhere. Of course, the routine might be, or part of the routine is nutrition for sure. How many times you eat today, the meal frequency, your macros, and of course, how you set it up throughout the day. That's really important. So I would say probably, as you said, around 70%, but I would talk about more implementing the nutrition into the routine instead of just talking about nutrition, because that could also be set up in so many different ways. But nutrition is, it's one of the key elements when it comes to health, for sure.
And you said something, well, you alluded to it. How many times you eat per day? Is that in line with fasting, or is it more of your body just jumping in and out of digestion and then trying to use the stores of fat it has?
Yeah, according to my experience, it's about building up the metabolic rate. Most people that haven't been training, their metabolic rate is pretty low, and in order to gain muscle, burn fat, you need to get the metabolic rate up and running better. And by eating smaller meals more frequently, I would say, in my case, I coach people to eat 5 or 6 meals a day. Some people come in, they have been eating 2 meals a day. Of course, then we may progressively, add in a meal here and there until we're up in the 5, 6 range. But I would never start below 4, because, the more frequently you eat, your body needs to process the food in a more rapid way, which will, of course, increase things like your protein synthesis, and then also you won't overeat that easily.
So when a person is trying to lose weight, is it better to eat smaller meals or to do like an intermittent fast for 18 hours and have an eating window of 6 hours?
Well, I think I would always aim for the sustainable version. And if I like intermittent fasting, that's for sure. It definitely works, and it's good for health. But I think when it comes to longevity, I would definitely go for the more frequent meals on a baseline.
Yeah, I know people are going to be like, oh my goodness, because they have been thinking, oh, I'm going to fast. I'm going to do 48 fast. I'm going to do a 3-day fast. And they think that they're just going to lose the weight. Yeah, you are going to lose the weight. But if your habits are not in line of, okay, are you going to keep that up for a very long time? Or is it something you're doing for 1 week or 2 weeks? Because if you're just doing it for a short period of time, you're not going to see the results. And then there's also the school of thought that, okay, well, I'm going to do a bunch of cardio that's fasted. So you're going to burn more, when that's not true. Because yes, you are fasting, you're doing cardio, and your body can get used to it, and then you can maybe burn a little bit more. But if you look at the numbers, it's like minuscule. Like you're not going to be burning much more on a fasted workout than if you ate in the morning. So you do have to figure out, what pattern do you want to have? And so maybe you have a banana before you go to the gym. Maybe you say, I'm waking up first thing in the morning, I'm going to have some water or some black coffee. It depends on the person, right? In your experience, do you think cardio is the right way to lose weight, or lifting is the right way to lose weight?
If you lift properly, you lift heavily, you're going to gain more muscle. And we also know that fat is burning in the muscle cell. So with more muscle mass, you will burn more fat and more easily. So I would say you need both. You need the heavy training. I like to see, I have keep my all clients doing cardio year round, because most of the people like me, I'm sitting, yesterday I was working 14 hours. I was sitting on my laptop. I was, replying to reports, writing mails, replying messages. on team meetings and so forth. So I'm not that active throughout the day, but that's also why I build my workflow in a different way or a specific way to raise my energies, to get my body moving throughout the day in different phases. I think that's really important also to implement the weight training along with some cardiovascular activity each day for sure.
So every day, Monday through Friday, if you go to the gym 5 days a week, you recommend doing some level of cardio along with weight training.
And of course, it depends on your looks, your goals, your. I mean, it doesn't need to be that you go and have like a specific cardio workout. For example, I have many clients that might be struggling getting that time in. To maybe go and have a walk after they eat. If they go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, for example, they're gonna eat 2 or 3 times a day. Instead of getting on the phone after the meal or sitting down at the table, whatever, go have a brisk walk, 10-15 minutes, walk around the outside for a while, get back in, get some fresh air, get the food processing in your stomach, and you're going to be much more on top of the game when you get back in. And that's also a way of getting in cardio, 20-30 minutes a day with just implementing it after the meal. Instead of sitting down for 10 minutes, have a walk for 10 minutes. So I think there's many ways of doing it. And me, myself, I like doing it first thing in the morning because it's also about the routine. When you get the mindset right, I use the cardio, build up the mindset for the day, definitely. And as you said, when you look at statistics, you ain't potentially burning that much more fat in the morning, because if you do 30 minutes in the morning, it's still gonna be 30 minutes in the afternoon or evening. That ain't gonna change. But it's more about the routine and getting it in, because I think that's something that I see with my clients. If I tell them that you can do it whenever you want in a day, 70% will leave it out at some point. So it's more about building a routine, and that's why my regime is like really like military. I get up 4:30 each morning. If I get to bed at 1 at night, I get up 4:30 in the morning. If I get to bed at 10, I get up 4:30 in the morning. It doesn't matter if it's Monday, Friday, or Sunday. Same thing each day. And toes to the floor, that's like the first win of the day, creating the good momentum. And the other thing that I do first in the morning or the second in the morning is to read something positive. It might be a quote, it might be a part of a book, or watch some motivational video, just a short while to get my mindset right. And after that, I'll either do cardio, or then I just have a quick meal and get to the gym. And I call this, getting in wins from the morning. The first win is getting up in the same time each day, even though it might be a bit heavy. Get up, then get the positive mindset going. That's the second win. Third win is either doing the cardio or getting in my macros, and then having the workout session. So by the end of my workout, I'm having 4 to 5 wins, and most people still sleeping. And that's how I create the baseline and foundation for my days. That's also where I see the discipline coming in. Without discipline, it's really hard to gain motivation, because I see a lot of clients saying, yeah, but how do I get the motivation? I said, you can't get the motivation unless you have the discipline. So I think it's a lot about routine. When you talk about nutrition, when you talk about training and fitness, I would definitely work foremost on the routine when implementing the programs.
And that's where a coach comes in, because they can help you with that discipline. Accountability is so big, right? Just being there saying, hey, I'm watching you, I'm helping you, I'm assisting you. Because I think sometimes when people try to do it themselves, think of like New Year's resolutions is my favorite example. It's like they do it themselves. They say, okay, I got my gym membership, or I'm going to do this. Maybe they get a friend or something, but the friend is not a trainer. It's just like someone who kind of, wants to live their own life too. And they're just kind of coming along for the ride as long as they want to be on that ride. So they might go to the gym maybe the first couple of weeks, maybe a month, and then they get busy. Life happens. So, work is just so stressful. The kids need to be taken to this game and that game. And before you know it, it's like we make the excuses and we don't follow with the discipline. How can people start to get rid of their excuses and start to follow discipline more readily?
I think it's in most cases, it's about stop lying to themselves, stop negotiating with themselves. Because of course it would be nice to stay in bed with my wife at 4:30 in the morning. The bed is warm and cozy, and instead of negotiating with myself, I'm as I told you just a while ago, I feel I have a purpose, a different purpose now. I'm helping hundreds of people there's a lot of people struggling, with their health, their finances, with their relationship. And I know, when I wake up 4:30 in the morning, it feels like I'm looking at small stars in the sky, and they're blinking, and they say, hey, are you coming? I'm like, yeah, I'm on. So not negotiating, and stop lying to yourself. And by that I mean, there's a lot of clients. I actually had a call a few weeks ago with a dad. He's 10 years younger than me. He got on my coaching program for a few months ago. He has quite a bit of weight to lose. He's consistent, but he ain't getting any results. And guess why? Because he's still lying to himself. See, he goes out to lunch with his friends. He's going to the, it's Friday evening. You get the tacos, and he has 2 kids. So doing something with them, eating out, and the stuff. Going to the gym, but talking BS to his friends instead of breaking the sweat. So I think it was a few weeks in, 8 weeks in, 9 weeks in actually, and he wrote me the report and said, "Hey man, everything's going well." I said, "Dude, this ain't going well." And he was like, "What do you mean? You've been like losing 1 kilo. That's like roughly 2 pounds in that time." And I said, "You have like a lot of weight to lose. Stop lying to yourself." We had a discussion about that, and I felt he agreed. And then he asked me, "Ronnie, can I ask you a question about kids?" I said, "Sure." I say, his kids are young teenagers. And he told me that, hey, they ain't really listening to me. What should I do? And I said, man, I shouldn't listen to you either. I was like, what do you mean? You ain't listening to yourself, because you're lying to yourself all the time. You tell your kids, your wife, that now you're in a coaching program, you're going to lose that much weight, you're going to do this and this and that. Look at yourself. You need to wake up. And he got so angry at me. I said, I probably never going to hear from this guy anymore. 4 weeks later, he wrote me a message. "Ronnie, you were right." And I think that's something that, it's the hard facts that you need to bring up. Everyone can't take it, and I understand that. But I also think that being honest and telling things as they are, because love ain't lies. And they're hard things to say, but there's really also hard things to receive. But this guy, 4 weeks in, with no communication, nothing, he wrote, "Ronnie, you were right." Now he's doing good. His communication with his family, with his work, everything is so much better, and he's losing weight from week to week because he's got it committed back on track.
And that's a great success story, because as you said, we do lie to ourselves sometimes. Yes, I'll go later, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow. We put off, we procrastinate. People wonder, it's like, why am I living this hard, difficult life where people don't respect me? And it's very similar to walking the walk and talking the talk. Because if you're telling people, oh, you have to go to school and you have to study, and you don't want to go to work and push yourself to do more, then they're going to see that. And same thing with relationships. If you're telling someone to go find a certain type of relationship, yet you're not in those relationships, or to stay away from alcohol and drugs, and you might be in it. So it's almost like you're a hypocrite. And people are going to listen to people who are walking the walk and talking the talk more readily than if someone who maybe has this idea of, I know this is bad for me, and I don't want you to follow it or follow in my steps, but I'm not strong enough to overcome it. So I hope you're strong enough to overcome it. Mindset is so powerful. And what you did to him is you gave him an ultimatum. It's like, listen, like, you're not showing up. I know it sucks for me to say this to you because it's going to hurt your feelings. But after some time of you ruminating and thinking about it, you're going to realize I'm right. Or you're going to start to see that, maybe things need to start to change, because I've been in the program 4 weeks. I lost 2 pounds. I should be in a better place. And so I find that a coach can see you slacking. They can see where you can make improvements. And that is where we become better. As that client of yours, he wanted better for himself, as do many people in this world. They want good. And I always say there's 2 types of people in this world: people who want it and people who kind of want it. And so what happened with that client at that first initial stage was he kind of wanted it. And it wasn't until you put it in a way where he can see it, where he started to say, I think I do want it. And so he started to get the discipline, he started to get the mindset, he started to build the habits. And then from there, he was able to grow.
Yeah, and I think, each one of us needs to, feel that regret is our guideline.
Right.
Because when we regret something, that's our inner voice telling us that you did mess up. That ain't good for you. And if you still repeat the same pattern, you ain't gonna go get nowhere. But if you really start regretting things and you feel that this ain't something I want to feel again, learn from that. Instead of having the McDonald's, you feel a bit guilty, and in the morning you have like a new start. Don't go back there again. You had that drink that you promised your wife that you ain't gonna have because you've been sober for 3 months maybe. You don't need to take it again. You missed that workout. You feel guilty about it. You know that you should have been working out. You have the possibility to make it better next time. But instead of just getting back, falling in the same pit, you need to feel regret that strongly. That is going to be a guideline for your next choice.
Yeah, no, all that is great to understand. And it's important that we get into the right mindset to ensure that we make the right choices every single day. Because if we are just going to operate in the realm of, okay, I'll do it later, I missed today, I can miss tomorrow, we get in that habit, and that's not a good place to be. Loved our conversation, as I said, because it is a true, real conversation. It wasn't something that, oh, you have a perfect life. You had your ups and downs, and you're able to help people in their ups and downs. And I think that's so important. So as we begin to wrap up, I would love to get some final words from you, and then to please tell the audience where they can find you.
Yeah, I mean, I think every one of us has a purpose here, and to me, is to create the best person and the best version of myself that you admire, and give that person to the world. To really, dive into yourself, create yourself, work on yourself, and when you're proud of yourself, also, help others. And that's what I'm aiming to become, and getting better and better at that from day to day, by having my daily routines, by getting up early, by having my daily schedule, and staying true to that. So yeah, I coach people. Most of my content on my Instagram, for example, is in Finnish, because most of my clients are Finns. I'm a Finnish. I live in Finland. I do have a lot of clients also from Scandinavia and Europe, and actually some guys and girls coming in from the US now as well. So please check my page, rgtraining.com. You can find some more information about me and my story, my way of working with people, and some preference as well from people telling their stories about how it's what I think about working with me. So my Instagram is Ronnie Niemi, Ronnie_Niemi, and the rgtraining.com. I think that's the two best places to hook up on me.
Perfect. And I'll definitely make it easy for everyone. All the links will be in the description box below. Everyone, check him out. Begin the process to get your fitness right, your nutrition right, and your mindset right. All three are going to be the final piece to the puzzle of finding your purpose, to becoming more confident, and becoming the person that you were always meant to be. I want to thank you so much, Ronnie, for coming on, spending a little bit of time with us, and talking about your life, your history, and how you help people. All right, everyone, I'd like to thank you so much for watching that interview with Ronnie and myself. What went on in that interview is that we talked about fitness, nutrition, and mindset. We talked a little bit about his history. We talked a little bit about fitness. I know some people have questions about cardio and what diets are the best thing for them. And my advice is to meet with a coach, meet with a nutritionist, because your situation is different. I talked about this early on, but I do have to sometimes repeat myself because people are coming into the podcast for the first time and they start on episode 300 or something along those lines. There's nothing wrong with starting on episode 300. It's just that you miss all that greatness beforehand. When you are working out, or when you're trying to implement a system into your life of maybe going to the gym, what type of workouts do you do, what type of foods you eat, and you have to understand your body. Because if you don't understand your body, you are not going to be maybe getting the best results. Because you might find that when you eat rice, for example, you gain a bunch of weight, you're bloated. Yeah, maybe you're eating too much rice. But then also maybe you have a food allergy. And many people are living life with food allergies, with foods that cause them a lot of problems. And since it's not like an adverse effect where you start getting hives and you can't breathe and things along those lines, you'd think that, oh, it's okay for me to eat this food. So you might eat the fast food and you might not gain a lick of weight. And you might say, oh, I can eat this food and it's okay for me. Maybe okay for a time. we talked about the rate of metabolism. When you're young, typically you're eating a lot more, you're growing, your body needs the food and nutrition. And at some point, your metabolism slows down and you might eat the same or you might eat infrequently. And you're going to say, oh, it's because of work, because of this. So it's better to eat more small meals in a day. However, sometimes people, they can't have all those small meals in a day. I'm one of those people. I can't afford to say, okay, I'm going to have 5 small meals a day. I am on the go. I'm always doing something. I am a busy person. So I have found for me to do intermittent fasting. That works for me the best. But I'm disciplined in it. Just because on the weekend I'm off from work, it's not like, okay, I'm going to have 5 small meals now. It's like, no, I'm going to eat when I'm supposed to eat, and I'm going to eat as much as I'm supposed to eat. Just because it's the weekend, it's not, oh, turn up Friday and turn up Saturday and turn down Tuesday. It's, I'm going to do the same exact things that I was doing the whole entire week. If I'm going to the gym 5 days out of the week, I'm going to the gym 5 days out of the week. It might not be Monday through Friday all the time because I might get busy, but I'm still accountable for that Saturday and Sunday. So my days of rest, Saturday and Sunday, I spend time with my family. You can choose what you want to do on Saturday and Sunday, but if you're going to just be sitting on the sofa, wasting time, then you have to start to think, are you really being effective? Because out of those 2 days, it adds up quite a bit. All right. That's going to be 3 months of your life, basically, just thrown away because you wanted to have a moment of peace and comfort. Sometimes you have to push. Sometimes you have to show up. Sometimes you have to say, you know what? I'm going to not be the person that I was. I'm going to become a new person. Superman doesn't just be Superman Monday through Friday, and on the weekend says, okay, well, if anyone wants to be in trouble on Saturday and Sunday, they're on their own. It's a commitment. It is something that you have to do. It's something you have to understand. It's something that you have to follow. For the people who think that fitness is a moment, that health is a moment, that diet and nutrition and mindset is a moment, you are going to find one day that if you don't make it a lifestyle, you are going to find unhappiness, regret, and hardship. As much as I don't want it to be that, as much as I want you to have a good life and an easy life, the easy life is not necessarily the path that you should be looking at. You should be looking at how you can challenge yourself every single day. Maybe that will require you to do more steps. Maybe that will require you to do more cardio or more weightlifting, or to be more disciplined in the foods you eat or the foods you bring into your house. The ice creams, the pizzas, the sodas. People don't even realize that the things that they like, the things they enjoy, are causing them so much pain. Now, the pain might not be physical yet. It could be mental. Because when you look in the mirror, you're like, oh, I don't look the part. And I understand our society, especially the Western society, will say, oh, you look fine just the way you are. As long as you can be mobile, as long as you can move, as long as you can walk, you're better than a good portion of the world. You should be happy. Well, I want you to be a little bit more stern and strict with yourself, almost militant. Do not accept just mediocre. Do not accept just average. Learn to go after more and to demand more out of yourself. How do you get there? Typically, you can do it, with some trial and error and then just learning from your mistakes. But the best way I have found for people to do it is to get a coach, to get a guide, to get a mentor, to get someone in their corner to say, hey, I'm rooting for you, but I'm also making sure that when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I'm telling you what needs to be done. If you ever see a fighter, a boxer, a UFC fighter, whatever, right? They're in the ring and they're getting beat. They're getting jacked up. The coach comes in and says, listen, when they do this, I want you to do this. Now, this fighter is probably skilled, is probably a beast, but yet their mind is just locked. And it's like, how do you break that lock? So a coach, a mentor, a guide to say, hey, I see what you're doing. I don't want you to do what you're doing anymore. I want you to do this instead. And the moment they do it, boom, you get that feedback. Because if you don't put your hand up like the coach is saying, you're going to get hit in the head. You're going to get knocked out. Listen to the people who are in a good place, who walk the walk and talk the talk, and they want to see you do well too. I understand it could be a financial commitment, but the time that you're going to spend going through trial and error, or the time you're going to spend in the hospital or in and out of treatment because you didn't want to take action, is not going to be even close to the amount you will spend on a good coach. So I encourage you to check out Ronnie, check us out here at Reverend Concepts, and begin to get your life back on track. Begin to start to ask the questions that can help you achieve more in your life. Because when you're trying to get better fitness, nutrition, and mindset, it begins with an idea, and then it's going to take massive action to get there. So take that massive action today, reach out to us, and learn how to begin the best of your life. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com, and I'll see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone, take care.